Hello, Sarah Key here, talking to you from Upper Hunter Valley in New South Wales on a peculiarly strange day in January in 2025. Now, this is to introduce my returning Masterclasses at the behest of His Royal Highness anymore, His Majesty King Charles. I am restructuring the masterclasses and re-delivering them. King Charles feels strongly about physiotherapy. He's now the patron of the Chartered Society of Physiotherapy since the Queen died, and I'm only too pleased to oblige, reefing me out of the garden where I am now in the country. You'll probably hear the odd dog bark or tractor start up. My reason for agreeing with some alacrity to relaunching the masterclasses is that I'm increasingly disturbed about the direction of physiotherapy, emanating largely from the UK a couple of decades ago, a directive from the Chartered Society of Physiotherapy basically directing physios to no longer touch their patients. Now, I believe that is a great shame, to say the least. I think it's a tragedy. I think physiotherapy, of all the professions, is the hands-on profession. I think the logo, certainly in Australia for physiotherapy, was two hands like this. To not touch your patients, I think, is not serving our patients. And I think this directive was issued last century. I believe that that Britain was the birthplace of physiotherapy last century, and I believe if we continue along the same track, it'll be the graveyard of physiotherapy. I think I think other professions will step in where we are not serving our patients, even masseurs, kinesiologists, obviously, chiropractors and osteopaths. Physiotherapy, to me, is a hands-on profession. The other reason that I have been more than keen to go public again, if you like, is that I think there's been a general wrongness, if you like, in the direction of therapy in Australia, largely emanating from my part of the world, Australia, where we have been encouraged to treat our patients as if all of the spinal problems that we encounter are best dealt with through relearning cognitive behavioural techniques. I think that's crazy. Absolutely gummy. Yes, certainly. There's certainly a few patients who fall into the category of learning to think, needing to learn to think differently about their pain, but to treat everybody as if this is the right approach, when we know that there are few structures more complex than the human spine. It's a magnificent structure. And we need to understand, we need to get to grips, if we're to be effective therapists, we need to get to grips with beautifully able to be understood biomechanics, anatomy, biomechanics, physiology of the intervertebral discs. If we're going to be therapists, I believe we need to be grappling with this. We need to be harnessing the physiology. We need to be harnessing the biomechanics. We need to be cognizant of the anatomy to be able to be effective therapists. So here we go. I hope I'm not too controversial. I feel in a way I'm calling out the profession for being too woke, all following the same line almost mindlessly, when really we need to be rolling up our sleeves and getting into it. So there. I hope I'm not too controversial, as I say, but I think I need to be. I think somebody needs to speak out, and I've been in the game a long time, and I'm near to retirement, and I don't care what people say, basically. So let it happen. So here they are, the masterclasses. They're going to be in 4 separate. I've redesigned them. I'm just doing voiceovers to screen captures. I'm no longer doing them as videos, just this video. They're in 4 levels 1 to 4. This is level 1, 4 lectures, 4 or 5 parts, 3, 4 or 5 parts per lecture. And then after each lecture, there's a multiple choice exam before you advance on to the next one. And then I join you for a 2-day practical adjunct where all the hands-on skills are re-evaluated, new techniques, but also, as you might be aware, I'm somebody who diagnoses with my hands, but then I treat with my foot. I use my heel to mobilise stiff lumbar segment. So again, makes me controversial. I don't want that to detract from the sort of magnitude and the intellectual integrity of these masterclasses. I can tell you that I wouldn't be working if I didn't use my feet. I'm 75 years of age, and I can tell you it's so much easier treating patients, which I do still continuously, if I didn't harness the mechanical advantage of using my heel. So this happens in the 2-day practical adjuncts, which you can only do if you've passed the level 1 webinars first, the theory content. So here we go. Come along. I hope you enjoy it. Ciao.